Oh my gosh. Should you employ the next generation at all? This is a great question I keep bumping into in some way, shape, or form recently. I get asked this question very regularly. Um, and it's usually asked like this. Should we expect the next generation to work somewhere else before they work in our family business? And I always give that sort of answer that I said earlier, that sort of annoying answer. It depends. What it depends on, though, is your ownership philosophy. And if you don't have one of those yet, it's important to get one. And ownership philosophy hits on four things. One is, what does it take to work in the business day to day? Two is, what does it take to be an owner of the business? Three is, what kind of growth are we looking for from the business? And four is, how do we make decisions? So I'll say it again. This is ownership philosophy. What does it take to work there? What does it take to own the business? What do we want from it? How much growth, how much money, how much freedom? What do we want? And number four is, how do we make decisions? When you get that really clear, the rest of it is easy peasy. Two things that will help support your ownership philosophy is figuring out what's the legacy we're trying to create. And by legacy, I mean two things. Why do we own this business? Any of you are family business owners on this call, you know this is not easy to own a business with your family members. So why are we doing this tricky thing? Figure out why, and then marry that with, what are we trying to create that we will never enjoy? For example, what are we trying to create that will be here in 100 years? I'm just assuming none of us will be here in 100 years. Although, cool, if I make it to 149, amazing. But assuming you're not going to be here, yeah, thanks, Amy. What are we trying to create that will be here in 100 years? When you can figure that out, why do we own it? What are we trying to create? Those two things will guide your ownership philosophy of what does it take to work here? What does it take to own it? What do we want from it? And then how do we make decisions? So should we ask or require the next generation to work in another business before they work in ours? Get your ownership philosophy figured out, get your legacy figured out, and then the answer will become clear. I will say this, many next generation people struggle, or even some suffer with this idea of, I didn't earn this job. I just got this job because of my last name, those kinds of thoughts. And a great way to help prevent that is to require them to work somewhere else, or maybe even require them to work somewhere else and get a raise or a promotion before they can come into the business. Then they've proven to themselves that they can do well somewhere else before they come into the family business. Your decision, but that's something I've seen.